about global flows of migrants and the migration. First, what is migration? Migration is a movement from one part of something to another. Migration is also a process of leaving your place to live to another place. We have here some examples. As we can see, the Tan family is called migrants. What is migrants? Migrants is the people who choose to migrate to another country or place. Since the earliest times, humanity has been on the move. Some people move in search of work or economic opportunities, to join family or study. But others move to escape conflicts, persecution, terrorism, or human rights violations. In the recent Brexit vote, the most common reason cited for voting yes to leaving the European Union was fear of immigration. The immigration crisis in Europe was a trigger. Some EU leaders argued that aiding the refugees was a moral obligation. But EU opponents saw immigration as a national issue, as it affected the internal life of the country. Steering clear of this issue was an important drive for the Leave vote. The EU doesn't understand the power of nationalism. It attempts to retain nationality as a cultural right. On the other hand, it deprives individual nations of the power to make many decisions. Global flows and barriers. Some of migrants isn't allowed in other countries because they are heavy. Why? They have low skill or undocumented, and they lack education and training. In here, they are the people who's working in jobs that do not require such qualifications or training, while some of migrants are allowed in other countries because they are much lighter, which is they have valuable skills that are in high demand. Most of the migrants was Filipino. We all know that Filipino was known for their unique intelligence and being a skilled people that most of the country needed. That's why migrants become valuable. As we all know, migrants are the people who wanted to migrate to other country. According to the United Nations in 2017, they define an international migrant as any person who lives temporarily or permanently in a country where he or she was not born and has acquired some significant social ties to this country. So, based on the definition of UN, it said that they are someone who lives in a country where they were not born and to which they have important social ties. Percentage of the population. Europe has 80 million and Asia has 78 million. So both of them are the largest regions attracting new international migrants in 2017. Even though they are both the largest regions that attracting international migrants, the United States remains the country with the largest migrant population in 2017. That has 49.8 million people living there were foreign born, 15% of the total versus population and 19% of the total international migrant population. US to Mexico corridor is also the world's largest route for international migrants. We have here some countries with large international migrant populations. It includes Germany, France, and United Kingdom. They are large migrants because of work migrations and their geographic proximity to Africa. And also, they have oil-producing nations such as the Saudi Arabia, Russia, and the United Arab Emirates. While we have also here some countries with the largest number, which is India that has 16.6 million, Mexico 13 million, Russia 10.6 million, China 10 million, and also Bangladesh, 7.5 million. They are the countries with the largest number because of citizens living outside of their borders. We also have here some ability to discuss migration. It hampered by the fact that there are great difficulties in tracking population flows. First, a lot of countries do not collect data. Second, those that do often don't report them to international agencies. Third, population flows are defined differently in different countries. There are also different periods required for migrant status. Fourth, few countries keep track of their expat rates. Finally, there are overwhelming difficulties in keeping tabs on undocumented migrants. So here, we must keep these limitations clearly in mind in discussing migrants. According to TAN in 2007, the modern world, trade, finance, investment, restrictions on the migration of people, especially labor migration, have not been liberalized. Prosper economically. A nation must try to keep the labor it needs, both highly paid professionals of various types and masses of low-paid, semi-skilled and unskilled workers. There is always this one country who doesn't know how to appreciate and recognize the value of every person with low skill. They just always focus on professionals and high-skilled persons, but they don't know that most of the low-skilled person can build a strong and huge empire as a migrant. President Trump continues to push for a ban on immigration from Muslim to majority countries, claiming it is necessary to prevent terrorism, which is being challenged in the courts. Trump built a barrier in year 2017 to avoid terrorism. We know that which country is the main focus of terrorists, and sometimes the terrorists migrate to that country and pretend to be a migrant, then suddenly attack that country. And Trump expressed his thoughts for some migrated student, not just only for the future but also for financial cause. He said that when you already catch a big fish, you will never allow it to escape. That's how Trump expressed his thoughts. Those who visit as tourists now often find the process of clearing border control in the United States burdensome and offensive. These barriers and difficulties will cause people to take their business elsewhere and the best students to study in other countries, and will lead to a significant decline in tourism and the money to be earned from it.
Approximately 15% of the U.S. population, 49.8 million in 2017, was born outside the United States, United Nations 2017. Approximately 11.3 million immigrants reside in the U.S. without authorization. Migration Policy Institute 2018. Noong 2017, binuo ng mga imigrante ang 6.2% ng population ng New Hampshire, kasama dyan ang mga naturalized na mamamayan na ipinanganak sa ibang bansa, mga legal na hindi mamamayang imigrante at mga imigrante na narito ng illegal. Ang mga imigrante ng New Hampshire ay nagmula sa malawak na hanay ng mga bansa. Ang pinakamalaking population ng imigrante ay mula sa Canada at sa India. Migration flows refers to the number of migrants entering or leaving a given country during a given period of time, usually one calendar year. However, countries use different concepts, definition, and data collection methodologies to compile statistics on migration flows. Ang imigrante ay tumutukoy daw po sa bilang ng pumapasok o umaalis sa isang partikular na bansa. Gayunman, ang mga bansa daw po ay gumagamit sila ng kakaibang konsepto, kahulugan na kung sino ang isang international na imigrante ay nag-iiba sa paglipas ng panahon sa parehong bansa at sa iba't ibang bansa. Life is not easy for undocumented Mexican immigrants in the United States. First, while their situation has improved from an economic point of view, they remain largely marginal economically in the U.S. context. Second, their family life is often in shares with many family members and friends still in Mexico. They are separated from them by a border that has recently become increasingly difficult to breach. From the Mexican side, for those who do not have proper authorization, their economic situation is also complicated by the fact that they are asked for and often feel obligated to give financial aid, remittance to relatives and friends who remain in Mexico. Roughly 26.1 billion in 2017 Gillespie 2018. Third, those who are in the United States without authorization are haunted by the possibility of being apprehended by the immigration authorities. Yet, with all this problem and more, many prefer life in the United States to their old life in Mexico. According to one, leaving her without papers is still better than leaving there, quoted Alvarez in 2006. Increased law enforcement. Just 5 days after taking office, President Trump expanded border patrols, increased deportation efforts, and began plans for his promised border wall between the United States and Mexico. Calls for increased protection on the border are not new. Across the 2,000 miles of U.S.-Mexico borders, there are already 650 miles of a fence to prevent people from crossing without authorization, but plans to expand the fence recently have proven elusive. In 2009, the Department of Homeland Security spent approximately $21 million per mile to expand in near San Diego, California. The high cost and the general ineffectiveness of a wall have prevented attempts to further expand it until recently. As of this writing, in 2018, prototypes for the wall are being built and President Trump is singing the tens of billions of dollars required to complete it.